The big tin can is at 100 energy. We are going to have to tank a Focus Blast. Ouch, that hurt. They switch into 9 towers like an absolute noob. I do not bank an Earthquake. I needed to bank an Earthquake because we would win CMP. So now we are going to have to put out some big brain plays. We are going to make one more Poison Fang. Poison Fang will obviously care. We do not want to spot the Registeel. Any more energy, we know bubble it. One Mud Shot, we reach the Earthquake. You already know what time it is. Hi Tin Can, bye Tin Can, GG's, and thanks for playing. So, let's get into today's video. You can see on screen my ELO is absolutely appalling. I ran some sets with stuff like Tangrowth, Suicune, and Feraligatr, and to be honest, I got absolutely spanked. They dropped down 140 points, and that is why you're not going to see any content with them Pokemon, because if I don't have decent runs, there's no point in showcasing it. As much as I love Spice, I'm not going to lead you all astray, pretending I did well when I did not. So I was watching my faction teammate Sceptile battle on Discord, and his opponent ran this team. I thought, fuck it, they're all available as shadows. Let's try this out, as I love non-XL teams, and I managed to go 22-8, regaining all the ELO I lost running Spice. And in game 1, we lead Swampert into Licky Licky. The opponent switches out into Gelatin, and I'm calling no Ice Beam. And fucking hell, I get hit with an Ice Beam. But we're still in the right spot. I'm going to go straight for the Shadow Ball. We're either going to do huge damage or grab a shield. The opponent shields up, and with the air slash damage, they are absolutely in Earthquake range. Swampert is going to win CMP against this Jellicent, so our shield advantage is going to come in clutch. I come straight in with Swampert, throw the Hail Mary. The opponent elects to no shield, and now we're back in the opening match out. Back out comes Licky Licky. They usually run Shadow Ball and Earthquake along with Body Slam, so Swampert really doesn't want to tank any of these charge moves. I throw the Hydro Cannon. I am going to respect a potential big move. The opponent goes straight for a Hail Mary of their own, and now they switch out into Deoxys, and we are sitting in somewhat of a tricky spot. Deoxys dominates Walrein, as it can hit him with Counter, Rock Slide, and Thunderbolt, so I'm going to spam out as many Hydro Cannons as possible to try and get this last shield off the Deoxys. We finally grab the last shield. I am going to call the Rock Slide or Thunderbolt bait. The opponent throws a Thunderbolt, and now it's time to come in to the big fat Walrus. I'm looking to CMP tie on the next Thunderbolt, hoping Icicle Sphere KOs, but let's not kid ourselves. Deoxys is super thick, and they tank that no problem. I am going to commit my final shield here. We correctly shield a Thunderbolt, then it's 5 to the next move. The opponent actually makes a switch now into their Licky Licky. They did throw a Shadow Ball, so they are pretty energy dry. We're going to outpace to the back-to-back Icicle Spheres. This is going to be more than enough to take care of the Licky Licky, and the big fat Walrus is going to outpace this Deoxys to one more Icicle Sphere, and you can already see why the Walrus is such a top meta threat. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on into the next battle, we see another Jellicent in the lead. I've got no idea where all these Jellicent are coming from. They are absolutely fucking everywhere, which doesn't make that much sense, as it now gets dominated by Registeel. They build up to the Shadow Ball, and my big Gahonas say, you are going to bait me. We correctly call a bait, and we go straight for an Earthquake. Earthquake lands for decent damage. At this stage now, they could Shadow Ball me once again. I am going to elect to shield, and we correctly shield up the Shadow Ball. We are sitting in a pretty good spot. I am going to go straight for one more Hail Mary, seeing if the opponent wants to commit a shield. They do commit a shield, and now we are going to look to catch the Bubble Beam onto our Walrus, and we are unsuccessful. We are now going to have to eat a Shadow Ball, and Walrus tanks that reasonably well. The opponent is staying in. This is just a Bubble Beam. The opponent must be weak to Ice in the back. We tank the Bubble Beam. Because we are debuffed, I don't believe Icicle Sphere will KO, so I am going straight for the Earthquake. Earthquake lands, takes out the Jellicent, and what does the opponent have in the back? The opponent comes into Talonflame. This is not fantastic, as we're deep into the red, so we're probably going to get Incinerated Farm down, and we are debuffed, so Icicle Sphere does pretty much fuck all, but we do make 2 of them. This is going to do some valuable chip damage to the Talonflame. We get him into the yellow, but unfortunately this Talonflame is pretty fucking loaded. We come in to the Crobat, and we are going to elect to shield, call in the Brave Bird, and we get Flame Charge baited. You absolutely hate to see it. Once again, this is just a Flame Charge. Crobat will survive, but it does do big damage. The opponent now switches out into a Charmer. I'm going to throw this Poison Fang. Elect to dip into Swampert. I think with the debuff, one Earthquake should be almost enough to KO. We're going straight for the Earthquake. Shadow Swampert hits like an absolute truck. It doesn't KO. We Mud Shot down, and we're going to outpace this Talonflame to one more Hydro Cannon, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on into the next one, we finally win a lead. Nidoqueen is something pretty much our entire team dominates. They switch out into the Walrus, and this is pretty tricky. We're going straight for the Earthquake, hoping to land for some big damage. The opponent shields it up, and I'm looking to catch the Icicle Sphere on my own Walrus, and that is absolutely beautiful. Stay in school, kids. Learn to count. It's 5 Powder Snows to the first Icicle Sphere. We tank that, and it is double resisted and does pretty much fuck all. The opponent is now at the Earthquake, but I'm still not going to shield. We tank the Earthquake, and now we're going to go for one Earthquake of our own. The opponent's already down 1 shield. It's highly unlikely they're going to shield again. Earthquake lands for big damage. As you've already seen, we double resist ice. The opponent is going to have to Earthquake to take us out, and they throw an Icicle Sphere bait. That, my friend, is a huge misplay. We make one more Earthquake. Is the opponent willing to double shield? No, they are not. So we win switch advantage. We're up shields. It's Gramble in the back, and this game is absolutely over. We bring in the Crobat. They bring in Nidoqueen. We switch out to catch the Poison Fang on our Swampert. There's no point in shielding. It doesn't do too much. Hydro Cannon is going to be more than enough to take out this Nidoqueen unless they shield. They do shield it up. So perhaps if they're running Stone Edge, they might have a chance. I'm still not shielding. This is another Poison Fang. Swampert tanks that on the chin. We survive the Poison Jabs. Hydro Cannon's going to take out Nidoqueen, and it looks like we're about to 2-shield flex on this opponent. The opponent thinks, fuck off, don't 2-shield flex on me, and quit the battle. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle. We lead Shadow Swampert into Talonflame. The opponent switches out into a Swampert. I've attempted to catch a Hydro Cannon a few times, and we are unsuccessful, so I make a quick swap into my Walrus. We correctly shield up an Earthquake, and we are going to start unleashing Icicle Spheres. First one lands, gets Swampert into the yellow. We're already at the back-to-back. Let's see if the opponent is willing to burn a shield. They just let it go. We've got a super healthy Walrus against this Talonflame. We are definitely not in Incinerate farm down range. They throw a charge move. It's just a flame charge. Walrus tanks that on the chin. I throw 2 Powder Snows, and we're going to unleash the first Icicle Sphere. Talonflame doesn't shield. We're going to outpace to the second one. The Talonflame is going to be forced to burn a shield here or let it go. They just let it go. We Powder Snow down, and the opponent concedes the match. GG's and thanks for playing. Shadow Walrus absolutely fucking busted. Moving on into the next battle, we've got the Swampert mirror match. We're both going for the extra Earthquake. Would knock out the Earthquake. I call the Hydro Cannon bait. I throw one more Mud Shot. Look to catch the second Hydro Cannon on my own Walrus, and it is another fantastic catch. The opponent now switches out into Escavalier, so I'm actually not as smug as I once was. We're going straight for the Earthquake. There's no point in baiting. We're only going to make one move. The opponent respects it with a shield, and we now get countered all the way down. This Escavalier is now absolutely loaded. I don't want to bring in Swampert and shield, so I'm just going to come in with Crobat. We are going to resist all moves unless they're on Aerial Ace. They throw a Drill Run. You can see that we are double resisting counter. Drill Run is also single resisted due to flying, double resisting, and poison taking super effective. I'd love to Air Slash all the way down, but that looks very ambitious. I am going to shield up one Drill Run. I am absolutely loaded. I'm going to over farm as much as I dare. Fire this Poison Fang. Poison Fang probably won't KO, but one more Air Slash should be enough. Poison Fang actually KOs. We've got a super loaded Swampert and a super loaded Crobat, but we have hardly any HP. Back out comes Swampert. I throw the Hail Mary. Shadow Ball goes unshielded. It's Obstagoon in the back, so I'm going to throw one Poison Fang. Poison Fang is going to lower the defense like you saw against that Sylveon with a lowered defense. Earthquake does huge damage. I bait with a Hydro Cannon. Can we get to the Earthquake? I'm going to have to commit my final shield here. I'm hoping this Obstagoon is in Earthquake range. We reach the Earthquake. Is Earthquake going to be enough to knock out Obstagoon? Yes, it is. And now it's going to be a race between Swampert versus Swampert. The Swampert outpaces us, but they're not at the back-to-back. Hydro Cannon takes us out, but one Air Slash should be enough to take this battle. So despite having 2 Pokemon with hardly any HP, energy is key. Moving on to the next one. We lead Shadow Swampert into Walrus. I count to 5, look to catch the Icicle Sphere on my own Walrus, and this time we are unsuccessful. The opponent banks an absolute shit ton of energy and switch out into Cresselia. Cresselia is a problem for this team. Let's see if they're on Grass Knot. They throw on 6. The opponent is going to be on Grass Knot. So it's 6 Psycho Cuts to each Grass Knot. I am going to look to CMP tie on the next Grass Knot. So we fire one more Icicle Sphere. I'm counting Psycho Cuts. I can't make the Earthquakes. I'm just going to CMP tie this Icicle Sphere on the next Grass Knot to minimise the amount of farm that Cresselia gets. The opponent smartly doesn't throw, but this means that the Walrus is going to start pressuring a shield. The opponent shields it up, and this time it is a CMP tie. Best case scenario for myself, the opponent got super greedy and it cost them a shield. We are going to come in with Crobat as they are on Grass Knot. I am calling Grass Knot and Moonblast. I've got no intentions of shielding anything. The opponent throws a Moonblast and Crobat tanks that on the chin. Back out comes the Walrus, and our two remaining Pokemon are garbage against this. I throw a Poison Fang. I am going to allow this to go down and put all my faith in Shadow Swampert sweeping this team. I switch out into Swampert thinking surely I haven't got three things that beat Swampert, but they've got Giratina. I'm going straight for the Hail Mary. The opponent shields it up and we are looking pretty fucked. I am going to shield this Dragon Claw. Unfortunately, one Earthquake isn't going to be enough. 2 KO, I'm going to need one Earthquake and a Hydro Cannon. I am going to allow this next move to go down as the Walrus is absolutely loaded. This is looking like G to the G. I'm going to have to try and catch an Icicle Sphere on my Crobat. I throw the Earthquake. Can we outpace to the Hydro Cannon? Yes, we can. We've still got a shield, but this game is over. We are going to play it out. You can see we pretty much can get Powder Snow down. I attempt to catch the Dragon Claw onto my Crobat. I am unsuccessful, and at this stage, the game is over. GG's to that opponent. Not really what you want to see. Moving on to the next battle. Something you do want to see is Talonflame in the lead. The opponent switches out into Registeel, attempting to catch a Hydro Cannon. I haven't really got a great response for Registeel. I build up a boatload of energy, throw the Hydro Cannon, and for once the opponent calls my bait. I always throw Hail Marys, the opponent always shields. So I'm going for a bait after building up to the Earthquake. Once again, the opponent calls it. At this stage now, I can just play out the Zero Shield. I am going to tank the Focus Blast. I'm going to build up a boatload of energy. We're at the back-to-back Hydro Cannon. So the opponent now, even if they shield, they're going to have to double shield. The opponent lets it go. We bank the Hydro Cannon. We're looking to make a dip into our Crobat. I'm spamming out Crobat. The opponent's got Meganium in the back. They switch out into Talonflame. So I'm going to start debuffing the shit out of it with Poison Fangs. Walrus could be primed to sweep. The opponent is going to throw a charge move. I'm going to call the Flame Charge bait. Flame Charge lands for decent damage. They're already at the back-to-back. I'm just going to allow this charge move to go down as 2 shields on the Walrus. We should be in a pretty good spot. I've got a Hydro Cannon banked, but I am going to choose to come in with the Walrus. I'm counting fast moves. I'm going to throw an Icicle Sphere just before they reach their Flame Charge. Does the opponent want to shield it up? Yes, they do. I look to catch the charge move on Swampert. That's why you've got to know your fast moves. It's only a 2-turn move versus a 5-turn move. So I had 1 turn to switch, and that switch is going to be all she wrote. Back out comes Meganium. We've got 2 shields. They're going to have to try and Vine Whip us down. That absolutely isn't happening. Walrus is going to make 1 more Icicle Sphere. The opponent lets it go. We Powder Snow all the way down. We've got the back-to-back Icicle Spheres, and we somehow managed to pull the game off despite the opponent calling all of our bait. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle. We see Giratina in the lead. I attempt to catch a Dragon Claw on my Crobat. The opponent doesn't throw, and this battle is an absolute classic. The opponent throws an Ancient Power. They get the boost. This isn't fantastic. I am going to have to shield up the second Ancient Power. I'm going to go straight for the Hail Mary. I really want to grab a shield from the opponent or do big damage. The opponent shields it up. We're going to get Shadow Clawed all the way down. I don't even reach the Poison Fang. I'm going to be forced to come in to the Walrus. You can see these Powder Stones are doing absolutely nothing as the boost from Ancient Power raises your attack and defense. Ancient Power with non-stab does around 50% of our health. I'm forced to shield this next one up. You can see I'm almost at an Icicle Sphere. Is the opponent willing to shield it up? We're about to find out. They don't shield it up and it does pretty much nothing. The opponent is going to outpace now to the next charge move, and Giratina is about to sweep my entire team. So moral of the story is if you're going to talk a lot of smack like me, you're going to get fucking wrecked at some stage. GG's to that opponent. Moving on to the next battle, we're in the Swampert Mirror. I go for the extra and I get denied. Not fantastic. I'm going to throw 1 more Mud Shot. When they reach the second Hydro Cannon, I'm going to look to catch it on my Walrus. The opponent doesn't throw. They bank an Earthquake and switch out into Cresselia. Once again, this is looking pretty fucking dreadful. We're going to be spamming out Icicle Spheres. We're hoping the opponent isn't on Grass Knot. Let's see what they throw at us. The opponent throws a Grass Knot. Not great. So like you've seen in a previous battle, I'm going to look to try and CMP tie this Cresselia on the next Grass Knot. It's 6 to each one, so I count to 6. Throw an Icicle Sphere. Is this a CMP tie? I'm really hoping so. It is a CMP tie, so finally something is going right for us. We're going to allow Walrus to go down, and I'm going to be forced to come in to my final Pokemon. We've seen they're on Grass Knot, so they shouldn't have Future Sight. I'm looking to Air Slash down. The opponent doesn't even reach a charge move, but that Swampert is absolutely fucking loaded. Back out comes the Swampert. We can survive a Hydro Cannon, but the second one is really going to start pressuring us. We're going straight for the Hail Mary. The opponent switches out into Talonflame, so I bank that energy. Switch out into Swampert. We're at the first Hydro Cannon. That does do big damage. The opponent can now Brave Bird me, even though they Flame Charge me. I don't give a fuck. They go for the Brave Bird. We Mud Shot all the way down. We've got 2 Hydro Cannons. We need to get both shields from this opponent. This Hydro Cannon definitely is going to draw a shield. We're at the back-to-back. The opponent might not shield this one up, as it will not care, but the opponent does give us a shield. We're looking to outpace to the third. We can't make it at this stage now. I'm just going to save my shield for Crobat and see what we can do. We've already got the Shadow Ball locked and loaded. Shadow Ball will not KO. We're not in Mud Shot down range. Can we Air Slash down? Yes, we can. Crobat, you fucking monster. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we lead Shadow Swampert into Registeel, that big motherfucking tin can. Shits its pants, they switch out into Shadow Swampert. We count to 5. We tank the Hydro Cannon on our Walrus. The opponent is going straight Hydro Cannon. You can see Shadow on Shadow. Straight Hydro Cannon does provide a big problem for our Walrus, as it will only take 3 to knock out, and we spotted him a whole boatload of energy. The opponent lets the Icicle Sphere go. I really want to maintain alignment, as we don't want Crobat on Registeel. So I shield up the next Hydro Cannon. I'm looking to throw this next Icicle Sphere just before the opponent reaches the next Hydro Cannon. They give us a shield. You can see my phone is ready to update, but fuck it, we ain't updating. We're going to continue battling. We shield the next Hydro Cannon. We commit to the Powder Snow Farm Down, so should Registeel return, we are going to be hitting them with an Earthquake. In comes the Tin Can. Earthquake, even with non-stab from a Shadow, does do big damage. The opponent shields it up. Can I reach one more Earthquake? We're running out of HP, so probably not is the answer. I'm just going to chip it with an Icicle Sphere. This Registeel is now absolutely loaded. We are going to have to tank a charge move with Swampert. I didn't throw the Hydro Cannon, as it will not KO. We tank the Focus Blast. They switch out into Ninetales, and I should have banked the Earthquake, as we do win CMP. So now we are going to have to use some high IQ plays. Crobat lands the Poison Fang. We are going to survive this Weather Ball. We will reach the second Poison Fang, but I can't afford to take this Ninetales out. You can see the Charm has snuck through, so I go for a no bubble. I'm hoping this leaves the Ninetales with a sliver of help. It does. We come in. We Mud Shot down. Hi, Tin Can. Bye, Tin Can. Get fucking wrecked. GG's, and thanks for playing. So we could have won that battle a lot easier if I would have just banked the Earthquake. But fuck it. It is what it is. We still found that win con. Moving on to the next battle. We see Talonflame in the lead. They switch out into Umbreon. Umbreon's bulk provides somewhat of a problem for this team, so I'm going to chip it with a Hydro Cannon. We sneak a Mud Shot. There's no point in shielding this up, as Umbreon just tickles, as it's really defense weighted. We bank a boatload of energy and now switch out into the Walrus. Walrus is pretty thick for a Shadow. We are going to tank these foul plays reasonably well. The opponent is almost at the second. We are going to start unleashing Icicle Sphere after Icicle Sphere. The first one lands. You can see the next one will be enough to knock out, unless the opponent is willing to burn a shield. The opponent just lets it go. Back out comes the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death. If they go for a Flame Charge, we should survive. The opponent does throw a Flame Charge. I throw 2 more Powder Snows and the Icicle Sphere. This is going to do some valuable chip damage to the Talonflame. We've got a boatload of energy banked on the Swampert. I imagine the opponent is going to look to catch. They do look to catch. It's Venusaur in the back. I'm not stupid enough to throw a Hydro Cannon at it. We do resist all moves from Venusaur. You can see it doesn't do too much damage. We are going to fire off 1 Poison Fang to lower the defense of this Venusaur. This game is over. Back up comes the Talonflame. We're going to fire off a Poison Fang just to lower its defense. The opponent is going to be forced to start shielding. They still don't shield. We Air Slash down and we save 4 shields for Season 12. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Shadow Swampert into Gyarados. Holy crap. One of the worst matchups you could possibly see. We are going to save switch into Walrus. They come in to Charizard. The built up to the Blast Burn, I'd love to call a bait, but I really need to flip switch at all costs and the opponent knows it. They throw the Dragon Claw bait, however we can start spamming out Icicle Spheres. We get our shield back from the opponent and we are already at the next Icicle Sphere. Is the opponent willing to double shield? Yes they are. So this makes an easy decision for me. I am also going to double shield. I'm really hoping the opponent doesn't reach one more Dragon Claw. They do reach a Dragon Claw, but Walrus, please be thick. The Walrus is thick enough to survive and we do Powder Snow farm down. Back out comes Gyarados. We are going to chip it with a neutral Icicle Sphere. It does reasonable damage. The Gyarados is now around 60% health. We come in to Crobat. The opponent is going to fire a charge move. We've got no shields remaining on either side. We tank the crunch. Not particularly well. They come in to Giratina and I look to catch the Dragon Claw on my Swampert, banking all that energy for later. We catch the Dragon Claw. We're going to go straight for the Hail Mary Earthquake. The opponent is going to reach one more Dragon Claw. This is not going to KO. We really need to reach this Earthquake. Can we get there? Of fucking course we can. Earthquake is going to land for decent damage onto the Giratina. The opponent throws the energy as well. This is now giving us a slight sliver of hope. We come in with the Crobat. We throw one Air Slash. That doesn't KO. Please KO with a Poison Fang. We can't throw the Shadow Ball. The Giratina survives on 1 HP and a Dream. Absolutely heartbreaking. I couldn't afford to throw the Shadow Ball as I needed a Poison Fang to take out that Gyarados, and that game unfortunately was over. Moving on to the next one. We need Shadow Swampert into Scrafty, a pretty neutral matchup. Most Scrafties like to bait with a power-up punch. I always throw on 7, which is a CMP tie to the foul play. This opponent throws one extra counter. They're at 8. Let's see what the opponent throws. They do throw the power-up punch bait. I'm going to throw one more Hydro Cannon to draw a shield from this Scrafty. I'm going to look to catch the next power-up punch onto my Crobat. We make the switch. The opponent doesn't throw, but they do come in to a Shadow Swampert. Well, actually, it's a regular Swampert. I think it's just my Shadow animation taking over the entire fucking screen. It is non-Shadow, but either way, we tank the Hydro Cannon and we're going straight for the Hail Mary. Does the opponent respect the Shadow Ball? They do not. We land for big damage. We are now going to elect to let this go. We're going to put faith in Walrein loaded, full of energy. We know they've got Scrafty, but it is quite low on health. We come in with Walrein. We do commit to the Powder Snow farm down. This is just going to be a power-up punch. We are going to tank the first one. They must be weak to ice in the back. We're already at the Icicle Sphere. Let's see if the opponent is willing to shield it up. They do shield it up. They must be super weak to ice. We sneak a Powder Snow. We've got 2 shields. I am going to shield up a power-up punch. As painful as it is, we're going to outpace to this Icicle Sphere. Show me a Giratina or something weak to ice in the back. We take out Scrafty. And it's Talonflame, and that is all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we lead Shadow Swampert into a Charizard. They switch out into the Walrus, and we count to 5, catching the Icicle Sphere on our own Walrus. Double resisted Icicle Sphere does pretty much sweet fuck all. I imagine the opponent is really going to want to flip switch advantage, but Crobat isn't bad against Charizard. I don't really care, I just want to get shields down. We aren't baiting, we're going straight for the Earthquake. Does the opponent respect the Earthquake? Yes, they do. As you've already seen in previous battles, the opponent is going to need to Earthquake to take me out, and let's see what the opponent throws. They go for a very risky Icicle Sphere bait. We call the bait. This again will not KO. I am going to tank it. We're going to under tap. We do make the second Earthquake, so huge no shield call there from myself. Earthquake lands, gets this Walrein super low. We are going to come in with Swampert. We've got a boatload of energy, so we're just going to take him out with a Hydro Cannon. That takes care of the Walrein. Back out comes Charizard. Holy crap, why would you bring Charizard into a loaded Swampert? They shield it up. We're almost at the next move. We CMP tie to the next one. Blast Burn would do big damage, so I am going to respect it. It's just a Dragon Claw, but the opponent threw on CMP, so this Hydro Cannon is going to take care of Charizard. In the back, they've got their own Swampert, so I'm going to unleash one Hydro Cannon. This is going to obviously land as the opponent has no shields. After landing the Hydro Cannon, we come in to Crobat. The Air Slash damage is really starting to add up. We just throw a Poison Fang to make the Air Slash add up even more. The opponent can't one-shot us with any one move, so we aren't going to shield this up. The opponent throws a Hydro Cannon. They're at the back-to-back. You see the Air Slash go through. We can now shield this up, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the final battle of the video, we see Shadow Swampert into Scrafty. Once again, we're going to look to throw on 7 to what should be a CMP tie to the foul play, but as always, my huge cojones are going to call a power-up punch bait. The opponent shields the first one. Bit of a questionable shield from the opponent as I wasn't at the earthquake yet. They go straight foul play, so I make an aggressive swap into my Crobat, and the opponent is staying in. I've got no idea why you'd stay in this matchup, as these air slashes are absolutely chunking. We respect the foul play, we shield it up. We are going to go for a Poison Fang to not allow the opponent to get to a second foul play. The opponent doesn't shield, we air slash down, and now it's very apparent why the opponent didn't switch out. They come in to a Shadow Granbull. Shadow Granbull shits its pants, shield up the first Poison Fang, and we're already at Poison Fang number 2. So like you saw earlier in the video, I got swept by a Giratina, and this opponent is about to get swept by a Shadow Crobat. So what goes around comes around. So those were the battles with a triple Shadow non-XL team. You can see we got wrecked in a few battles, but overall went 22 and 8. It's super affordable and it is completely non-XL. It's got great coverage on the meta, and I did manage to gain 160 points with this team. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you're also spicy enough to be running a triple Shadow team in this try-hard season, the link to my battle submission form is down below if you'd like me to shoutcast your battles. I'd like to say thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.